really supposed to be doing this, so I could get kicked out. Practice now.
Yeah, but you said taking some of these things, like, you know, these things that, like, these people that are, these little bits of wisdom that are kind of like life wisdoms, and they're very, you'll find that there's so much crossover between like life and goals, and, you know, and there's so much of the like life wisdoms that are very applicable to goals. Yeah. So yeah, like you say, journaling.
Welcome back to the vlog. This is the Road to Q School vlog. Said it a million times, this is the one that tracks my progress as a pro as we go towards Q School at the end of this year. Right, just got off a call to my coach, Ryan Fricker. Now in the previous Road to Q School vlog, I talked about the swing changes that I'm going through. I'm not gonna spend the whole video going through the swing changes again, but I'm gonna show you a bit of this in this video. Can you believe it? I'm still standing. Funny thing is that net has probably fallen down about 3 times recently in the storms. Golf's almost back. So before anything, please can you just drop this video a like. I don't ask for that a lot. That'd be much appreciated. And let's get into this. So yeah, me and Ryan caught up again this morning. Just talked through the golf swing where it was, because last time the main thing I was trying to focus on was trying to get a club in like a bit of a stronger position going back, because when the club's in a stronger position, it just puts you in a better position to move better in the downswing. One of my problems is always getting it really open, getting off of it, and then having to like flip and chuck it. So the club face is definitely looking better. Now the swing I sent to him yesterday, which is this one you're gonna see now, you can see, yeah, the club face is getting a slightly better position. The club is getting a bit laid off, but he hasn't really got a problem with that massively. But I am getting like a tiny bit steep, and I'm still struggling to like properly get into the ground. As a result of that, I like jump up early. I basically push from the ground too early, and that leads to not like early extending, but it leads to having to still chuck the club and chase it with the hands, just because I'm actually like getting further away from the ball when I push vertically so early. But before we go outside and I'll show you that new move, I just want to show you some of the things that I've bought recently. So this came today, and this is a massage cane, all right, which helps you get into like specific areas when you're doing self massage or myofascial release, or mass myofascial release, which is what I'm doing. These are a couple of the other things that I've got. This one is like, I mean, it's hard enough to get into areas, but a decent size you can roll around on. And then this, which is a Lacrosse Ball, which is very hard. It's basically to get your body moving in a better way, which is something that I'm putting an emphasis on. Like when I used to train, it used to be, right, what can I dead, what can I bench, what can I squat, and how fast I swung a golf club. I didn't really care about like how much mobility I had in certain movements. But I've recently become like more and more aware of how important it is to move better, move pain-free, and to be fitter as well as strong. So I'm still keeping all the strength stuff up. But myofascial release is one of the things that I'm doing, which has had a big impact straight away on the way my body moves. And I shared on my Instagram story recently doing one of these and how much shoulder rotation I gained from it. So before getting into the ball, I would have been sort of like in this position, and then after a release, which literally just involved me putting pressure on my trap against a wall, like as hard as I can, just pressing in, doing that for like 2 minutes on each trap, just really getting into that because it's an area that's very tight. I'm now actually able to open my arm up completely and get that way past 90 degrees. This is the loudest road in the world. So yeah, as I said, the club face is getting in a better position. It's now getting a strong position, so left hand more flat. Rather than getting it this way and getting it open, it's now in a strong position where I can then just turn through and not have to do so much at the bottom. So I've given this drill to a few of my students, and what I've done with students in the past is just get them to make golf swings, like half golf swings with this there. It's really good for people that add loft to impact, because if you are adding loft, you're just going to smash yourself in the left oblique, and it's not going to be that fun. He wants to get me a bit more connected, going back. So what we're going to do is we're going to grip this, switch it round, right, and this is literally just for a drill, so make sure that's in nice. Switch it round, then make a backswing from here where you're trying to disconnect this and this, so you have to get the body turning and get the hands a bit deeper, so it looks like that. So it gets nice and deep, bit of disconnection, and then we take it to the top and then try and get the club moving in the other direction. try and get this pointing outside the ball, and then load it up, rotate through, having to stay in posture because you're holding onto the angle, and then missing the club. Actually, when I was speaking to Ryan on the phone this morning, I said, look mate, like one of my biggest problems is that I sort of expect, right, we'll drill this out for a few months and then I'll be in a position where I can come out with an action that is like pretty much there. But he said, look, like you have these things that you've been doing for what, like 18, 20 years. Working them out is gonna take time, and if you just went about working them out for 3 months, you would then be in a position where you would completely like alien position where you didn't know your golf swing. And I think that gives a lot of people, like club golfers, a bit more of an idea about how long it actually takes for swing changes to take effect. Because I know that there's probably a lot of people that go for lessons, practice it once, play in a medal, doesn't work, think, nah, go back to what they were doing and make zero progress. Alright, for the first try that didn't actually feel too bad. It's going to take a bit of time to sort of work it in, but I kind of like that like initial, like, alright, how do we figure this out type thing. So yeah, it's gonna take a bit of work now. Still doing online lessons. If you guys are interested, just follow the link in the description. Yeah, I've built up a nice little client base now, which is sort of like getting me by at the moment. I'm also doing some labouring this week as well, just to get a bit of cash in. One more thing to say, Bumble has had a bit of a bad time recently. We took her to this dog walking park with the idea that she could be let off lead and, you know, go for a run around, but she's actually tore a cruciate ligament in her knee. So she's been hobbling around for the last week. She's in for an operation at the moment to get that repaired, so she's going to be coming back later this evening. So yeah, we're down at the Rugby Club this morning, just because it's like a massive field. People do like walk their dogs around here, but it's usually quite quiet in the morning. It's 9 o'clock at the moment. And what I'm going to do, I brought my little mat down. I'm going to try and set out some yardages and just hit to the rugby posts. Not really supposed to be doing this, so I could get kicked out. But this will literally be the first proper practice outside hitting golf balls properly since lockdown started. Bumble's doing pretty well. She had a cruciate operation yesterday to repair the ligament. She's currently recovering, feeling sorry for herself downstairs at the moment. So yeah, she's going to be chilling for the next few months. Right, yeah, that didn't really go to plan. So that's definitely one of those things where you think it's a good idea going down to a wet field to hit shots because you haven't hit shots, but the reality is the tees snapped, the mat's moved, every ball plugged after 50 yards, even 50-yard shots. The realities of practicing in England, it's just not ideal. At least we learned that that's probably not feasible at the moment, so it just means more time in the net. And I'm just going to probably have to try and find a launch monitor before these events and just try and get dialed in numbers wise on the launch monitor. Yeah, one of the reasons I come down today was to do some sprints. So I ended up doing like 10 lots of 40-yard dashes, 40-yard sprints. Since I've had, are you allowed to say the thing anymore in case it gets flagged? Since I've had the Rona, I definitely had, even though I didn't feel horrific, I felt bad for a few days. But what I did notice is that like walking upstairs was harder, like towards the end of the illness. It must have done some sort of damage to my lungs, because I mean, I've started running recently, and I know I've been like joking about it. I've been sort of joking about it on Instagram, going for like 2k runs, but honestly 2k runs feel quite hard at the moment, and even sprinting there, doing 10-40 yard dashes, like I am gasping for breath when I come back. And I've also been feeling just like I cannot get to like full fitness. I don't know if this is just like the after effects of Corona. I know people get long Rona. I don't know whether it needs like rest, or I just need to push through. I'm gonna try the just push through approach and consistently go out running and just try and like force myself to get better. That probably doesn't sound like a good idea, but if like you just leave your body inactive, it's just gonna get worse. So I'm just gonna like just try and push myself to continue to run, do sprints, lift, do all the stuff I need to do. Right, it's starting to rain. Hope you're good. Golf's back soon. See you on the next one.